Hey, this is Morty back with another video. Today I kind of wanted to go over state of the game about 1 month in and um, I guess some of my regrets. Being excited to play the game, and I haven't paid for Everquest in a really long time because I've always used those emulators, and I've swapped over to like PoE and PoE 2 and been playing those for like a decade, and coming back and playing EverQuest, I guess like a retail version of EverQuest. I was fine with dropping some money on it. So I guess the first thing I would say is regrets. My regrets for purchases is everything besides bag space. So I guess what that what comes with that is how much space is actually needed. Like when you're doing Sky to get all of your class unlocks, you really need a ton of bag space. And I was keeping all of my individual Sky items because I don't think that we're actually sure on where epics are going to go. And I don't want to have to ever do Sky again. So I'm going to keep all of my Sky items just in case um, some more of those are required for doing epics in the future than, like what's currently required. So I did buy the 4 additional slots, and I think those were a really good purchase. I did buy 4 of these bags. I think for me these are a good purchase too, especially with how much trade skilling and character unlocks and quests that I've been doing in regards to like racial unlocks and stuff like that. I've been trying hard to do the halfling quest, and the issue that I'm coming up with right now is berries. I just can't get enough. I think that if I do Halfling Illusion, I'm up to Kindly now, but that's still pretty far off from unlocking it, and we're a month in, and I've been foraging all the time. It's on both of my movements, so every time I turn, I try to forage, and I don't get a lot of these. When I was doing Sky in between my lockouts, I was farming wolves, as you can see how many like wolves pelts I have, and you can kind of see the difference in what you get for drops too. So just be aware of that if you're doing unlocks. I was trying to farm up the paste bag, so I had to get like a Highland Lion, like a high quality Highland Lion pelt, and I've killed 100 of those with no luck. So that's fun. Also working on my arrow. I got it up to +7 so far. I have a bunch of stuff here, but I kind of started running low on cash with doing all that kind of stuff. So I have kind of put that on the back burner for a minute. Let's see what else. For storage, I did buy an additional equipment one because I was so close to cap. I didn't want to be at cap when doing Sky. This is where I'm keeping all of my Sky stuff. It took me it took me a whole extra, let's see, I had 2 quests left pre B nerf. Or sorry, I had 9 quests left pre B nerf. The first day after the B nerf in Sky, I got 7 more quests done. So I only had 2 left. And then it took me a couple days to do one. It took me Um, 10. Well, I mean, it took me up until last Saturday, so let's see, Saturday was the 22nd. So it took me, like the game launched here, it took me 22 days to get that last unlock. And it was from bees. It was the Beast Lord something, I can't remember. But man, was that rough. I was doing Sky uh every single pick unlock that I had. And like I said, in between I was farming this stuff. I bought the boar, and boy was I disappointed. This thing should never have been quote unquote so speed. It's not even so speed now, and it can't get put in other slots. Can't You can't add this to like your arrow like you can the one of the other mounts. Um, man, I was so disappointed by this. It makes me never want to buy another mount from them again. Let's see what else. Right now I'm just kind of chilling, leveling characters. I see tons of people, tons of my friends that are kind of done with the game already. I've seen a lot of streamers already move away from the game. I think that's probably why they had their big uh, kind of like announcement thing this Saturday on all the things that they're going to do and their update cadence. Um, Still seeing a lot of bugs in the game that I think should take priority over some of the other things that they're working on. Like they're working on, I don't know, something like text changes with loadouts and stuff like that. I get that that's something that people want. I even want it for a couple of my loadouts. I would prefer to have Luckland models available as well. I prefer like high elf, dark elf, Luckland models. But that stuff can just wait until Kunark. Just put that stuff on the. We can like drop this with Kunark as an additional. What we need to have fixed is Sky needs to be fixed. Some of the pathing is ridiculous for some of the drakes coming to Island 1, 1.52, uh, like 4, all over the place, to be honest. Um, Also, they need to do something about Sky unlocks. For me, having to do that one quest probably for at least 10 days, just concentrating on bees by themselves to try to get one drop. I know that they did mention it during the the stream that they were thinking about doing something. I hope that they do that sooner than later because all of the casuals aren't going to do Sky. They're just going to not do it. I think they really need to work on like finishing their maps. There's still a bunch of zones that don't have their new updated maps. That really needs to be done. I am getting tired of switching between, like in Lava Storm, I might have to use this one. In Hate, I might have to use this one. Here I prefer this one. Like I'm tired of switching maps. I don't need them for a lot of stuff, but I do like to have my map up like this. I do like to zoom in and find a pet. Like, oh, cool, I'm gonna go over there, grab that guy, and then come back to farming, whatever, or I do want to target farm like higher groups. Like I could be like, okay, I'm going to sneak invid or sneak hide and come over here and do that group, and then come over here and do that group, and then maybe clear my way back through so I get respawns, whatever, you know. But the maps are just need to be redone. They need to put in deity quests. Um, those should be in here. Um, the wiki is just a gross mess. So I think that so many people recommend the wiki here and there. I found so many disconnects between you're looking at a specific item, it says these mobs only drop it. Then you go to a different mob, it says that it drops the item, but it's not linked on the wiki, stuff like that. I think they should have somebody that is specifically on their team collaborating with the wiki owner to clean up. I mean, like the way that they did the wiki and just transferring all the stuff over from P99 was not a great idea. They need a way to delete loadouts. So I come here and I have like, this is my primary loadout. I like this one the best, but it's not my strongest. This is my bounce around the world and do quest turn-ins. This is my specific halfling quest turn-in. And then this is mostly my boss or beat everything. And this is my current leveling one. But what I would like to do is just like be able to delete one of these loadouts. I don't care if the equipment goes all into storage or however they determine where it goes. But we need to be able to like delete. We need to be able to like reorder these, and we need to be able to name them. Those are things that are going to make this game like leaps and bounds above like other. I mean, not leaps and bounds, but having this stuff customizable is going to be so important for the future. So like right now, people are like eking by with their few builds. Obviously, I bought a couple extra here. It's worth it to me. I would probably even buy a couple extras so that I can work on classes in the same level range, just by zoning out and swapping and zoning back in kind of thing. Let's see what else. They need to update the AA UI. So they need to do something like this. You see how this has all the class loadouts, or sorry, not class loadouts, but a class selector here, and has your current 3 here. What they need to do is put that in here so that, I don't know, maybe make it a little bit broader, or you could probably fit it up in this area where you have a class selector so that you can bring up the AAs for a class. Like right now, I'm not a warrior, but what I would like to do is just select warrior and this populate all the warrior stuff only so that I can start farming warrior AAs. Or I could select anything else and buy specific AAs, or see what AAs go with specific class so that if I didn't have the unallocated points, I could, you know, write it down and start farming it instead of having to go to some newbie zone, swapping my loadout to a class, selecting that class, coming to this tab and doing it. I'm sure that they might even have that information on the horrible wiki. But They're going to add more AAs. They need a better AA selection system, and you should be able to allocate AAs for classes that you're planning to upgrade in the future. So that's one thing that I would like to have updated. The other thing that I really need them to update is the number of charges that you get for your instances. Um, Two's just not enough. Three could be okay, but it's going. I mean, just if I'm target farming in hate, um, three wouldn't even be enough. I would probably need four to keep me going. And I don't even have like plus 10 gear. I don't care about plus 10 gear right now, to be honest. Um, with their new with them saying that they are going to allow you to go past plus 10, like for Kunark, and how Kunark is going to be so different. They're probably going to be working on updating zones in Kunark too and dropping items that are, like in a leveling zone that are better than what we're getting out of plus 10 skies. So, uh, I kind of, like I'll spend use the weekly raid shards, I don't know, on various spells and or I don't know, lustrous or something like that. Even though lustrous is super easy to farm, probably not lustrous. Some all stuff because I think it's just gonna be a total loot fest again for the week or two after the start, and then it'll kind of calm down again. Let's see what else. They need to reduce life burn use time. It's like 2 hours and something minutes. That's ridiculous. There are people doing life burn damage with barred dots. Come on. Speaking of that barred build is ridiculous. Does need to be nerfed. Only because you can do it everywhere. If it only worked specifically, I guess you can do it everywhere and it works in AoE. If you could do it on like one mob and then you had to recover a little bit, I'm less in a rush to nerf it, but because it's AoE and you can do it in every zone in the game, that's a little bit more of a problem. It is more problematic than bees, um, because bees was specific to one zone. I did charm bees a lot. I got onto that. I knew the nerf was coming, but I got a good weekend before the nerf. Um, I will tell you that one of the bees specifically was doing about like 1.4k DPS, and I totally understand why that bee needed to be nerfed. I get it. They did nerf it with the patch twice. They announced one, they didn't announce the second one. It just got a further nerf. It got brought down from 1.4k to about 4 to 500 DPS. Then a couple days later, it got reduced again, 4 to 500 to like 250 to 300, and that's where it sits right now. And I know this because I needed to be up there trying to finish that beast unlock. They need to fix whatever debuffs are dispelling illusions. It doesn't do it for Dark Elf illusion from this mask, but it does for every other enchanter illusion. Spells as weak as Sicken will dispel your illusion, and I paid the extra AAs to get a 27-hour illusion. I can't run around as anything else. So Sicken does it because it changes your health regen. So it'll get rid of Troll and Ixar. But there are other illusions that also get dispelled by I think any dot would get rid of Troll and Ixar. There are other illusions that get dispelled by spells, and I don't know exactly what they are, but I've had it happen, so they need to fix that. Let's see. There are quests out there, specifically the one that's required for unlocking halflings. That if you give them a stack, they give you back less than they should. So I did a bug report for this, and I showed the turn-in logs. The quest requires 2 of the ruined wolf pelts, 1 of the black wolf pelts, and 1 berry, and it would randomly take an extra black wolf pelt, and it would randomly take an extra berry. So unfortunately, I found that out a lot later than I wanted to. Let's see what else. Boar mount does not work with werewolf illusion. Boar mount is slower than advertised speed. It is 1 velocity slower than so. I think that's about it. I do wish that they kind of made the shaman hot a little bit stronger, maybe like 10% stronger. Because I think I'm hitting like 200 and something. I think mine's level 4, and I'm like at like 220 with improved healing 3 and all the A's. Which I think is a little bit low for shaman heals in comparison to the other classes. Like even though the bloom isn't um, getting a bonus on the druid heal, or so I hear, um, the bloom is better than the shaman one because you don't have the movement speed debuff. Rogues are a little bit weak. They need to be worked on. They kind of said that. Um, Rogue debuffs can be dispelled. So, like if you're working on a mob and you pull it with whatever, and then you dispel it. If you had a rogue proc, you can dispel your own rogue proc, which is pretty unfun. Um, yeah. So I know that's a long video. Just wanted to throw a couple things out there. Um, they're supposed to put out the bag space, or sorry, the 50 slot bag that's bank only. I think looking at the slots here, let's see real quick. So 24 slots is 750. I kind of expect the 50 slots to be. I don't want it to be 1K because it's bank only. Okay. So because it's not usable in the world and it's bank only, I do not want it to be 1K. If I could carry it on my person, I think 1K would be okay. I think currently it's not. Let's see. There are the biggest other slots is 25 at 500. So you could get two of these equipment storage slots for 1K. Um, I don't know that having a bag in the bank is better than having something that you can pull out of, like right here. If I do storage, I can go and pull any of these out right now while I'm out here. So I don't know if having an extra, I mean, I want it in the bank so that I can say this one specific bag has all of my Sky stuff and put all of my Sky stuff in there. And then you can pull up this find item window if you need to do anything with it. But I just don't think that it's worth 1K when you can buy like two of these. And I know that I shouldn't be saying comparing a fake digital inventory slot with another one. Uh, but it's a little bit more restrictive to me, so I don't think it should be 1K. I guess that's it for today. I know it's a kind of a long video, but wanted to do an update for 1 month in. Hopefully you guys are still having fun and stick around for the next one. Peace.